6,325 pounds. Man, I am liking the new look of these Catalinas here at Hinged RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is the 263BHS Bunkhouse model. Gives us a big living room super slide, lots of sleeping, great storage, and the potential for half-ton towability. Let's take a quick peek inside. The camp kitchen in this has been significantly enhanced, and that lighter, brighter decor that they have, that is always a crowd pleaser. There's some optional equipment on this one, like that 12-volt fridge and the LCI stable steps, but some neat new features like a multicolor LED strobe light capable awning kind of system here are a bunch of little things that almost kind of feel like they taught an old dog new tricks, you know? And there's always something about the combination of that taller 6'9" ceiling, big bright windows, and just a generally light color palette. It makes these just feel enormous, especially compared to a lot of things in this class, where although a lot of people have been asking for lighter and brighter like this for years, a bunch of brands have decided to go darker again, which I don't understand. But it's more open, more airy, very welcoming. But frankly, I think my favorite part of a Catalina is something that you can't see, and it's nothing that you're ever going to find in a brochure. That's their service records. Within this class and category, very impressive. We just don't really see them back, and when we do, it's usually for something like a cabinet door adjustment. It's nothing major, and it's nothing ever consistent. You'll also see things like Catalina was the first in this class to do all sealed edge press membrane countertops. Now, you see those used a little bit in the J-Flights here at Hinged RV. You see them used a lot in the Wildwoods and the Cherokees, but this is where it started right here. They do it through the whole coach, not just one area, and also inclusive of the bathroom. Now, there's a lot of good things to cover here. I'm going to start up top. You have the option of outfitting these with a larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner for some extra cooling power. And then down below here, you see that sofa giving you an easy view of the entertainment center. And it gets easier to view than even that if you give me just a minute. But first of all, pop that open. You see you got yourself a big tri-fold sleeper sofa right here. And what's nice is you can still walk around it. And as if the bunk space that you'll see in a minute won't be enough, that's what's cool about this one. This is good for not sleeping just kids. That sofa can sleep an adult. The dinette here can sleep an adult. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and take a look at that folded down so you can see that in the sleeper position as well. And it has storage drawers below it. Well, doors, not drawers. I want to clarify there. So you've got places for kids. You got places for adults. And then you've got yourself a comfortable seating space right here. Because the cool thing about this television is that it isn't just fixed mounted. You can pivot that sucker around however you want. Because as you see, that TV can pivot. So it is a no-neck wrecker entertainment center for sure. I like how they do that. Now, down below here, you see a little kind of shelf for some entertainment expansion. Then you see a little bit of what I'm going to call the Pantry-tainment storage center before we move on to the rest of the kitchen. And I like how even that had some thought applied. This could have just been like one shelf in the middle or nothing. But the way that they have that kind of segmented, it's awesome because it gives you a place for more shelves, more horizontal space, more places for more things. Now that taller 6'9" ceiling is also giving us a full-size 6'9" pantry. And if you're noticing, this is not your standard two-way RV refrigerator. Legacy Catalina, actually all Catalinas now, I'm sorry, Legacy Catalinas used to have this as an option, but now it's standard across the board. A 10.7 cubic foot 12-volt compressor fridge. They're currently using a GE variety. Right now, the way suppliers have been, manufacturers are using the same appliance, but sometimes from different manufacturers. But it looks like GEs will probably be here for a while. Now, one thing Catalina does, I don't know why I don't see it in more places, almost any 12-volt fridge has some way to shut off, but it's not very obvious. Catalina says, no sweat, I'll fix that. I'll just put a switch in. So I can just turn that off whenever I want. Just little details like that. It makes a difference, you know? It's funny how rarely you find that. Now you're seeing down here below the sink they have shelves. You're thinking, I could have put a wastebasket there. Give me just a second and I'll show you where you can still put a wastebasket. On the way through though, I want to get these fitted sink covers out of the way. So you can see that is one of those extra large farm sinks where if you need to bathe a baby, you could do that. below that high-rise sprayer faucet, and easy reach outlets on both sides of that window right there. Down below, the top drawer you might notice is segmented so that if you want to use, forks, spoons, and knives in here, you can. And here's where I was saying you do have a handy spot for a wastebasket. It's just around the corner. It's not out of the way, but you know what I like about this? It's right by the door. So if I just want to reach in and toss something, it's very easy to try to make sure I don't have those stupid, plastic wrappers from God knows what you're unpackaging all over the place on my campsite. Command center is up here, up high, away from the little kid fingers. It does all the main kind of bare necessities. And since they do have a taller ceiling, they're throwing a shelf in here to really maximize our storage capacity. That's something else that Wildwood and J-Flight's good for. And I'll tell you, over the years, I've really kind of felt that Catalina, and really Coachmen as a whole, they were some of the best I've ever seen at camper storage. But recently here, Wildwood's giving them a run for their money. But models like this, man, it renews hope. You can pack this thing. Wait till we get to the bedroom. The good news is you're not going to have to wait very long because we're there. Notice a full cabinet over the bed, not just a shelf. And if you are interested, you could put TV hookups over. Well, there are TV hookups. You could put a TV over here on the wall. With this being a wood-studded trailer, every 16 inches on center roughly, you got a place to mount that thing. Full-size hanging closets. I like that they're mirrored. It helps the whole room kind of look and feel a little more open. And note that, below that shiplap accented headboard, you've got household and USB plugs on both sides. This is a Camp Queen. It does, however, leave us room for a true queen bed and still have some room to walk around. Now you notice over here we have a direct entry door straight into the bedroom. Sometimes that's here for fire code. However, what's cool on this floor plan, and we'll see the super slide closed in a little bit, it will allow you to maintain access to the bedroom even with the slide out closed. Now there's also handy little things like the overhead cabin lights you can reach very easily with the switch there. You don't have to be tall like me and click around. But then you see door number 3. If we peer inside there, what you see is just a huge chunk of just closet, pantry, clothing, dresser, storage space, whatever you want it to be. That is something that is, I think, absolutely awesome right there. Now, flipping our way around, coming the other direction, that is a Coleman air conditioner, by the way, a little bit quieter than the Dometic varieties. Not a whisper ducted air system, but the air conditioner itself is organically quieter, so they kind of work together. And this up here, this is kind of nice. So if you're just glancing here, the way the camera sees the light, it goes, oh, let me wash that out for you. But if I get right up in its face, you see that that is a venting fan. Now, that is going to be enough of a fan to help exhaust some cooking heat or humidity out of the RV. The fact, though, that there's already the wiring there makes that easy to upgrade to a larger fan. Now, Max Air is the fan variety that a lot of people think, but here's a pro tip from your Uncle Josh. If you want the best pound-for-pound, dollar-for-dollar fan, look into a company called Hinged, H-E-N-G-S, and their Vortex series. If what you want is just a big exhaust fan, they're the best budget pound-for-pound way to go. Just no question. The other thing is, with a Hinged Vortex fan, it installs in the factory housing. You don't have to remove factory seals and stuff and potentially void factory warranty. It's why I'm a big fan of them. Now, I meant to show you the dinette and the sleeper position coming from this direction, but I kind of jumped out of order, so we've already seen that. One thing I do love here, though, are the Smother People giant pillows that they include in these things. It's just kind of a joke between me and my Catalina rep, but those are very aggressively large pillows. I can't wait to, have my kid hit me in the head with one of those. Moving on. Now, that bedroom door that we saw, I think is super critical in this floor plan. Because if you put the kids to bed back here in the bunks, they're right next to what you would often call the main entry door. So that bedroom door allows you the opportunity to zip in and out without necessarily disturbing the kiddos over here. And I love those open air ladder walls. It makes the whole room look and feel brighter. And I see outlets there. We've got some USB plugs here. So on a rainy day, we still got some good kiddo space. And the bathroom, while simple, is very well executed. More of that sealed edge countertop stuff and a huge medicine cabinet here. Another simple 4-inch blade fan up top in the vent, but again, easily upgraded here at Haylett RV through our parts and service center. And that taller ceiling means that a taller person like me can fit inside that shower, no sweat. Skylight and full shower surround paneling, I want to point out because those are actually optional and not standard features in a lot of campers. You could find something that's $1 cheaper, you're going to have to give up some feature for it. Now here at Haylett RV, if those things ever are optional, you're going to see us apply them. Foot flush stool with, again, decent legroom here. This is a pretty spacious bathroom. And Catalina's recently made the decision to go exclusively basically to showers that are easier to enter. And a lot of folks say that doesn't make sense. If I'm in a bunkhouse, don't I need a tub? Thing is, that's thinking like you're living in a house, not camping in a camper. Now, there are benefits to a tub, certainly. But frankly, most RVs don't typically hold enough water, nor are you going to use enough water to really give a kid a bath. They tend to get in there, rinse them down, you're good. Now, if you got a little baby, you got one of those little, foam spongy things that they sit on, what you're probably going to do is use the shower wand to gently, get the baby wet and whatnot, and then just kind of, gently soap them up, rinse them down, and go back to camping with your family. Now, a quick look with the slide closed. You might be wondering why the steps are closed right now. I jump in these RVs sometimes literally the moment they land at Haylett RV. And if the camera lurches a little bit, that's because the RV delivery driver is actually still backing it into place here where we can check it in. But I felt, we could still get a good chance to see our way around. You see that you can easily walk here through the countertop. You can get up to all the fridge, all the pantry space. None of that's a problem. And now, obviously, that's close, but remember, we just came from there. You have a door straight to the bedroom to get up to the bedroom and closet and bathrooms. Well, no, bathrooms behind me. Starting again at those steps as a reference, you see, getting to the bunks is no sweat. Now that door, again, is wiggling a little bit because we're actually in motion right now. Yee-haw! And, of course, bathroom access, no problem with the slide closed. And what's funny is I hear them laughing going, wonder how he's going to get out. Joke's on them. I got power, and I got a slide out. I'm going to go out through the bedroom where we just came from. Down below that front master bed, we have ourselves a nice, large, wide-open pass-through. Catalina tries to put their water heaters a little bit closer to things like the sinks and the showers so that they're more effective and tend to, not for lack of a better phrase, waste less potential water. Very handy if you are primitive dry camping. It's one of those fine little details that sometimes is easy to miss. And every brand of RV does little things different from somebody else. And that's one of the things I like about these. Now, something I mentioned previously, but the sun was blaring off the nose of this thing. The look of this thing. Catalinas have always been that trusty infantry soldier. Bruh. They never looked over the top fantastic. I didn't think they looked terrible. Last year when they went to the Coors Light Mountains Turn Blue graphic scheme, I thought that they started to kind of step it up a little bit. But another thing I like about this is it is now extremely obvious that you're looking at a Legacy series Catalina, because the Summits, which is the little brother to this, the simple series without all the fancy glitz and glitter, they don't look like this. They have the same general color scheme, but they don't have that face on them. Man, she's gussied up. Extra thick nose skin on the front. It's 67% thicker than the sidewall skin, so that it is basically the whole nose is like wind buffeting and stone resistant. Power tongue jack on the front, making the raising and lowering simple and easy. And then down here, remember that our refrigerator has that easy on-off switch? But if you're going to store the RV, there's other things like the stereos and the circuit panels in the refrigerators or whatever that can still trickle drain the battery. It's called phantom load. Well, you can obviously just flick that battery disconnect and hard shut that off. And that's the thing, guys. They're finally, not only, this is always, how can I say it? It's always been one of the most functional, smartest, well laid out series of trailers. They just didn't always have the eye appeal, but good gravy. I know it's subjective, but I sure think they look good. Tinted windows, keeping the sunshine out. One other thing I want to show you here before we jump to the back for yet another more recent update at the time of this filming. The underbelly down here, nicely enclosed. Now, you might be looking at this and going, oh my God, that's ugly and terrible. They did a bad job. See, the thing is, notice how that little foam stuff is kind of squeezing and bleeding out the side a little bit. That is sealing where something, in this case, the low point drain, is purging through the underbelly. Now, I would rather they use too much and not enough. I would rather, maybe I grab my pocket knife and shave that stuff back, but I would rather they go goop crazy in an area that, frankly, unless you're crawling around down here, you're never going to see. And I would rather see more of this than not enough of this. If you're not seeing this stuff, that should actually make you wonder, how is the manufacturer really like enclosing ceiling protecting my underbelly, because here the result is obvious. Now there's a couple really simple things on here that are easy to overlook, and the first time that I really put my hands on a Catalina, I overlooked them. That fender trim, that shiny aluminum fender trim, is one of my favorite things on this camper. I can't tell you, over my nearly dozen years now that I've been doing this, how many times I've seen an RV, new or used, have a little wind-buffeted, cracked piece of fender trim. It's not a common thing, but when it happens, it's like, it looks ugly, and people really have a heart attack over it, even though there's zero structural, problems related to it. But you know what, that aluminum fender trim right there, one, it's shiny, and shiny looks good. I've got that raccoon effect where I see something shiny, I'm like, whoo. But the point is, that stuff, unless you run into it with a lawnmower, it ain't gonna fail. Then there's, again, the smart details like this. This is why I like putting these videos together. If you appreciate the extra links that we go to, opening and closing hide-a-beds, showing you how a Catalina outside shower actually mounts up high, where you can shower outside with it if need be. I don't see other people doing this for you, folks. If you appreciate that extra information, definitely please hit that subscribe button and consider bringing your business to my family's owned and operated dealership here in Southern Michigan. And it doesn't matter where you live. They're on wheels. We can get them from here to there, and you'd be surprised how much you can save compared to factory shipping in terms of aftermarket shipping by letting us send it right to your front door. 5/8 tongue and groove floor decking. I'm looking at the roof and I got my stuff mixed up. Let me start over. Okay, 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor decking with 12-inch on-center studs that is cross-blocked, by the way, for extra structural integrity. That means not only do you have studs running north-south on the RV, but you have some blocks east-west to make sure it doesn't wiggle. You can see the 200-pound rated cargo rack on the back here. That is something my Catalina friends are not going to appreciate me saying, but I don't mind saying it because I work for Hinged RV and my customers, not for Coachmen. That is them just straight borrowing right from the Cherokee RV group right there. Cherokee is not necessarily the first one to do that, but they are certainly the most noted for doing that. They do that on their models. It used to be optional, now pretty much standard wherever it is available. It is a great feature though, because if you want to put bikes on the back, if you want to add a little generator or coolers or whatever, you can do all kinds of things here. We're backup camera ready. I started talking about construction. 16-inch on center wall and roof average studs with a 3/8 fully walkable roof decking. Now that general construction outline is almost exactly the same between Cherokee and Wildwood. J-Flights are slightly different in the roof, but otherwise very similar themselves. So that's the thing, guys. It's not the general construction method, it's the execution. And in terms of actual labor and execution, this is a brand that has been getting it done, I think, better than anyone else in this class based on the service records we see here at Hinged RV. You're looking at the optional stable steps we like to outfit on these right here. Now note the front steps are not the stable steps, but they are an anti-slip aluminum plank step. So even if your feet are wet, you're not going to slip slide around and bust your backside or anything like that. And this is easily the winner for most improved camp kitchen from 2020 to 2021. What they did here is just heads and tails above what they had before. They had a little fridge. They had just kind of this little countertop, and they had a floating Coleman camp grill. Well, they kept the fridge, but they swapped over to a slide out and lock in place griddle system, which this is the same thing I see on the high-end Jayco laminated RVs. They're using the same kind of hardware here with the galvanized rolled steel boxing. And they do that instead of wood because this griddle can get so hot they don't want the wood to smolder when you slide it away. Now, on the rear wall, in kind of a funny place on this floor plan, admittedly, sort of covered up by that cargo rack, there is a quick water connect system. They just couldn't get it any closer to the camp kitchen on this specific model. We've got the Barley Poppinator 37 series in the upper right corner right there, and the extra shelf space here. That could have just been a wide open cabinet. They could have done nothing and just left it open and it would have been okay. But the fact that they dressed it up, boxed it in, added that shelf in there to really maximize our storage space is fantastic. Now, if you start getting into Uncle Josh's barley water inside of that fridge there, you might need the drunken uncle leash lash to make sure you don't go wandering down the campsite. Now, the awning here, power awning, LED lighting, and most campers have that. But what most campers don't have is like a 16-color multifunction strobe swell capable remote control type awning light system. Those have been available aftermarket for a while, but it's cool that they're here standard. Also, Catalina didn't used to have this. I think they just went to it this year. Come on, open up. So here's the good news. There's nothing wrong with the door. The problem's the operator. I left it deadbolted. What I was getting at here is this is now a friction hinged anti-slam door. Now they're doing it on both doors, not just the rear door, but the front bedroom door as well. So they're very consistent that way. Also a little TV hookup here, kind of amidships in the RV under the awning. So if you do want to set up some outdoor entertainment, you have a great opportunity to do that here. And I think we've pretty much got her nailed, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go ahead and put her away for the day. If you like what you see, again, give our team a call here at Haylett RV. We'd love the opportunity to earn your business in return for our efforts today. Now keep in mind, we don't do hidden dealer fees. We just don't do that stuff. You see a price on our site, it includes the cost of getting it here, getting it cleaned, propane, battery, water electric surge guards, hoses. We show you how it works, clean it inside and out, because this one does need a bath for sure. We do all that included in the price tag. Just add taxes and tags. If that sounds simple, easy, transparent, and fair, hit subscribe, follow along, and call our team. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.